No new masters, no doctors can prescribe ways in my calling. Only his ways, oh ancient days can correct. He reflects the path I acknowledge. God's promise, 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 promise. 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 Put on a new self who is being created to a true knowledge according to the image of the one who created it. The people who walk in darkness will see a great light. Those who live in the dark land, the light will shine on. Promise, 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 promise. God's promise, 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 promise. God's mind is my mind, my mind is light. I am in all ways reflecting His might. I am in all ways reflecting His sight. In all ways I acknowledge, no knowledge, no college. Ooh, God, You promised that great day will come. Yes, Lord, You promised that I will see my son. You promised that He is by your side. And nothing. Put on a new self who is being created to a true knowledge according to the image of the one who created it. The people who walk in darkness will see a great light. Those who live in the dark land, the light will shine on. Promise, 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 promise. God's promise, 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 promise. God's mind is my mind is light. I am in all ways reflecting His might. I am in all ways reflecting His sight. In all
Remember
ways
the limbo.
I acknowledge, no knowledge, no college. Ooh, God, You promised that great day will come. Yes, God, You promised that I will see my son. You promised that He is by your side. Born a new self who is being created to a true knowledge according to the image of the one who created it. The people who walk darkness will see a great light.
Stop for a second. Stop for a second. Greater light. Greater love and light to all, huh? And to all a good night. If anyone is aware of how time really works with God, you don't go by numbers, but since man added numbers to it, we are moving into the 11th day, the 11th hour. Let's put it in manuscriptural time. We're moving into the 11th hour. Yes, when the sun sets, we'll be moving into the 11th hour. And going into the first day of the week, according to them. According to them, it's the first day of the week. But we who know what we know, it's the 11th hour. Going into the 12th hour during the eclipse. What you say? Yeah, I said it. That's what I said. Let me start over. My mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually. Ooh, they in trouble. God's ideas unfold within my mind in perfect sequence. I'm always poised, balanced, serene, and calm, knowing that God will provide the perfect solution. Not to just some of my needs, but all my ancestors' needs, You don't believe in ancestors? I believe in ancestors. I believe in ancestors, I believe that all the gods that they made up is because they sitting there holding on to our DNA codes that they've been using and eating on, slicing on every time they get a chance, And this time, with all their trickery, they've been the one that's been tricked. You've been tricked. You've been tricked, but because I'm going to say this, they could come get me if they want to. They could say whatever. Oh, don't get messed up. Now, come on. Don't let my crown get all raggedy on here while I'm on here. They came and let me know last night. They were like, no. And I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about in a minute. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in a minute. God is going to keep his promise. Pray against, child. Why would you pray? Pray against. That's what they want you to do. They know who you are. And they thought they tricked us. But we tell you, we know that you will read it because they think it's a form of protection for them. Oh, no. Say what? Oh, they wish they could shut down everything right now. Because even if you shut down the Wi-Fi, I still get to go out there in the sun and send up the smoke signals and read, because I wrote it down. See, this time, I wrote it down. I wrote it down this time. Why would I save it in their system and they could easily come and wipe it away? Why would I save it? Some of the software now, you can't, even if you put, I want to do it offline, if they fix the system in a certain particular way and my terabytes that I pay for get shut down and I can't access what I wrote it down this time. I wrote it down. As I sat there, let me tell you what happened past shadow hours. Who here with me? Please let it be King Ellis. Pixel T. Greater light. Greater light to you. Greater love and light to you, Pixel T. Let me explain. I had the Federal Register up and I was going through that code or seance that they had there. And I was saying to myself, I was like, they think they so slick. And then it was showed, it was like, no, those aren't the regular incantation codes that you think they are. It's the access, those who gave him the codes, those who gave them the codes. You think, yeah, they got help from, what's her name? But this is already written on this 11th hour. What's his name? The Haitian president's wife. They got help from her. But see, our help came from the beginning of time. Okay. Before I get started and going any deeper, have some ultraviolet. Would you like some ultraviolet in your life, Pixel T? Hey, I got my tea too. Today is nothing but liquids all day. Nothing but liquids. Let me tell you, my urine came out green light. I can attribute that to maybe the chemicals in the toilet or something. I don't know. But today, uh, would you like to know the recipe, Pixel? Today, on the 11th, going into the 11th hour, because we're in the 10th and we're moving into the 11th hour. When the sun sets, see the evening and the evening were the first day. That's something that never changed. The evening and the evening were the first day. The first day doesn't start 6 a.m. in the morning. It doesn't even start at midnight, at 12. The evening and the evening is the first day, okay? Let me get back to the ultraviolet recipe. So for this evening and evening of the 11th hour, it's nothing but ultraviolet. They got ultraviolet for those who are asleep. For those who have hatred and bitterness and all the things that they love of this land that wasn't made for you and me. It might have been made for you. It wasn't made for me. This land wasn't made for me. Okay. And I have my tea. And I have my agua, the water of life. So this today is just, I don't like this one. This is my second time drinking it because the cabbage is what gives it the violet color. You know, I use the Rudy cabbage. It looks purple, but they call it red cabbage, right? And it gives it that rooty taste, no matter how much ginger I put with it and how the coconut is and the honey, it just has that rooty, tutti fruity, fresh and fruity. I don't know, whatever. It's rooty. So I'm drinking this and I don't prefer this. This isn't a preference, but it was told in my spirit, say, drink this one today. Mm. Mm-mm. It almost tastes like rutabaga. The mixture, it's so deep and rooty, it tastes like rutabaga. Mm. Mm. If it wasn't for the coconut, they say the bitter stuff and the things that you don't like, that you fix your face up, that's the stuff that's better for you than the others. Pixel T, have you heard from Sally Sue Serpent Slayer? She's been on my mind. I don't know. You know, I'm never on nobody's mind. That's what everybody in my life come and say, you the only one. Ain't nobody be thinking about you or checking on you. But you always call yourself thinking out and checking out and looking for somebody else. How's Pixel? I mean, Sally Sue. Oh, good. That's good. I know she is. Here we go. I'm trying to see, should I start with the scripts? Should I start? I think I'm going to begin with the scripts first. Let's begin with the scripts. And I need the glasses. Here we go. So these are the questions that I decided to ask Copilot. Explain to me what happened on the 11th hour. And Copilot says in ancient manuscripts, significant events on the 11th day varied across cultures and contexts. Let me share a couple of intriguing examples. So you mean to tell me there's 11 days of the week, 12 days of the week? Told you with all them changing up the calendars and all the things they did, how could you trust celebrating any of their pagan days and holidays, and even focus on when is the Sabbath if you don't even know that there's more than 7 days of the week? I said that to my husband one time. I'm talking about he will die. He will go to war for his 7-day Adventist faith. First husband, middle name Jesus. And I said, but there's something ain't right about it. If the calendars change, it don't matter if you want to dispute that he went in on Friday and rose on Sunday or Monday, because that's a big thing. But how could you be so sure if the people who killed him changed the calendar and it was literally more than just 7 days of the week? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday all day long. I want you to go to Timbuktu with me so we can find out the truth. Will you go to Timbuktu with me? This is what my first husband, middle name Jesus. He said, I'll go anywhere with you, as long as you don't speak against. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall I labor and do all thy work. Thy 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. And if you ever, I'll take our daughter. You do it. I'll stand with you with anything. You just better not speak about and against. You better stand on the promises of a 7th day. No, we in the 11th day. We going into the 11th hour today. Huh? Woo. Palimpsests. Archaeologists discovered ancient palimpsests, which are manuscripts with layers of text written over each other. One such palimpsest, known as Arabic New Finds 66. Let me type that in. Let's see if this really exists. Is this something Copilot playing with? Oh, this is going to be a beautiful day of study. This is Bible Study Sunday. Is it Sunday, really? Is it? What did they say that's the name of that? Arabic. Arabic. You want to shave with big razors. Razors. The big razors. On 66. Or Route 66. Behind the lines of Sinaiticus Arabicus. Wait a minute. Let me share this screen. Share this tab instead. Okay. It says, behind the lines of Sinaiticus Arabicus. Sinaiticus Arabicus is made up of 6 fragmentary folia and 3 tiny parchment scraps. Oh, let's see, said the blind man. Nope. If I download this, they're going to be like, we found her. I don't want to download it. It's not like they don't know where I'm at. It's just that I don't want to download it. When I received the assignment of working on Greek magic school, oh, it's the magic school. Under text of the manuscript Sinaiticus Arabicus in F66. I did not have great expectations. She had lowered expectations. Am I sharing the screen? I'm not sharing that screen. My bad. AI, what do you think about which rockets? The rockets red glare that they supposed to send to the moon? What's that song by Bruno Mars? Every time I think about that song by Bruno Mars, not Pinky Finger to the Moon. I can't think of it right now. It's all scrabbled up in my brain. I don't know, but let me finish this Sinaiticus Arabicus. What do you think about it? Pixel T, if you go over there and you tell me what you think about it, I may very well come up there and join you. I don't know. You know, this is a day of new beginnings. Huh? I don't know if I'm going to be here. But just in case, just know that I said it, huh? You two are free to use anything that's left behind here. Pixel T, you have full permission, huh? Yee! Wait a minute. What else? What is this? Look. I did not have great expectations. In the course of the Sinai, this comes straight out of Sinai. They want to use Nineveh. They want to use all they little stuff that they took and turned and twisted, right? Salem, all they Salem witch projects and stuff. Now they want to be like, this is what's so significant. And then got us where they gonna bind us all over again. And it's supposed to, and look, Jesus, not the where that they have personified as Jesus, the real, true, and living Son of God, huh? They want to eclipse it with star-spangled banners and rockets, red glares all over again. And you mean to tell me God didn't leave no codes after he said, he promised we not gonna go through that no more. Like, this is their last time, and everything that they planning is gonna be to their demise. I said so. To their demise. Who is the they? You don't believe in the day? Pixel T, answer me that. Do you believe in the day? Huh? I'll wait for anybody to come over here with that bull crap. Somebody, it's just your mind is creating it. So then there ain't children being hurt. Ain't nobody committing crimes. Huh? It ain't cannibals out there. Huh? It ain't child molesters out there. The cancer isn't real. No, all this stuff just made up in the mind. Nope. God is going to keep his promise. And they thought they were doing something. They thought they was you know what? This right here, this abacuses, the rebacuses, isn't important. Not at all. It's just part of the story where they thought they was going to get away with it this time. This is, look, it's an Arabic hagiographical codex. It hides, listen, this parchment of these two folia is extremely thin and tends to crinkle. The Greek undertext is almost invisible to the naked eye and somehow hides itself in between the folia with readable undertexts in Christian, Palestinian, Aramaic. This is maybe the reason why Tischendorf was not interested in appropriating them, and why Mean Maris in his catalog and other scholars found after him did not even notice its existence. Oh, what? Look at this mess they talking about here. I got news for y'all. My ancestors came to me last night. They said, nope, you are not supposed to pray. Look at the giants, the titans. Look at this story. Where did this just appear? Who knows about Sinaiticus Arabicus NF66. Get your roots. Who knows about that? Well, anyways, co-pilot just showed me somebody who plan on staying here in this realm. You got a whole Seneticus Arabicus NF66 to build on. There you go. Huh? I've left you some more breadcrumbs to the trail where you can get out of here 1,000 years from now. Huh? They sent me through a box that was supposed to keep me from seeing the things as clearly as I see them. They say sometimes even your I'm just saying. Now, so one such palimpsest known as Arabic Nufind 66 contained a Christian text of the 10th century Arabic that concealed an even older classic Greek text. The lost writing includes mythology like Persephone, the Persephone. Let me tell you how it's spelled. Let me put it here on the screen. Paris phone. I guess it's the Persephone, I guess. Zeus and Dionysus. Okay, let's put this for those who may need something to build on after all this is over. Arabic new finds 66. There we go. They probably won't want it like that. Should I put all the other information? Arabic Arabic 66. Additionally, Timbuktu manuscripts from Mali. Mali, dating back to almost 1,000 years, reveal influence of Timbuktu as the center of scholarship. These manuscripts preserved at the Ahmed Baba Center, the Baba, and private family libraries. They holding all the keys and the answers in private family. They not public libraries. Oh my goodness. Showcase the city's contribution to Islamic civilization and culture. Timbuktu, founded 900 years ago, was a significant religious, cultural, and commercial center. It attracted scholars seeking knowledge and became famous for its education. The University of Timbuktu's brilliance was unparalleled in the Sahara, Africa, and its manuscripts continue to be eloquent witnesses to its legacy. So I say, okay. What is the 11th day? Archaeologists have discovered ancient palimpsests. You go right back to the palimpsests. Which are manuscripts with layers of text written over each other. These palimpsests often contain hidden treasures. For instance, in a manuscript known as Arabic Nufind 66, a Christian text in the 10th century Arabic concealed even older classics. She tells me the same thing over again, but then she goes into Saint Catherine's monastery in Egypt. Who? Saint who? Saint. She was an Egyptian? Saint Catherine? Egypt is just a frame of mind. Egypt is a host of war. Egypt is a state of mind. And Saint Catherine had her monastery eyes on Egypt. And it's home to the Greeks. The Greeks lived there too. The Greeks was Egyptian. Yep. Greek Orthodox monks was Egyptian too. and preserves ancient traditions through the manuscripts. What? Okay. And then she said, well, you want to know more about the 11th days? You could go to the Byzantine manuscripts. They talk about the 11th day and the 12th hour, and the 11th when the sun sets. They talk about it in depth. It says in depth. And the thing about the Byzantines is the Latins, they lived there too. They lived there for a long time, unscrolling scrolls and eating off and slicing off bits and pieces of your ancestors' DNA, eating on the, eating. That's eating good, And the Ottoman, they also, not only did they have rich, not, not right now, I'm busy. In the mid-10th century, German kings commissioned manuscripts that visually manifested imperial power. Imperial power. These manuscripts, whether hidden beneath layers of they are adorned with elegant illustrations, continue to reveal the enduring beauty and significance of ancient civilization. Let me tell just one moment. Let me play a song and send a text real quick. This won't be stopped today.
See a great light. Those who live in the dark land, the light will shine on them. God's promise, 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 promise. God's promise, 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 promise. God's mind is my mind is light. I'm in always reflecting His sight. Always I acknowledge, no knowledge, no courage. Ooh, God, you promised that great day will come. Yes, God, you promised that I will see my son. You promised that He is by your side, and nothing can separate this love inside. No masters, no doctors can prescribe ways in my heart.
I'm not losing no train of thought as I'm going through this information today. No train of thought, none today. Jesus can call, If Jesus called, I'm not stopping this, because you know what? That's not the way it's supposed to go down. Jesus ain't gonna be calling on my phone. I'm not stopping until I am told to stop. There ain't no interruptions, not at this Bible study, not today. If anybody want to interrupt, they can come on in the chat. That go for my mama too. Come on in the chat. We in the 11th hour. We moving into the 11th hour. You think no, not today. Not today. Anyways, here we go. Let's go back to it. So that's enough about that information. So now I want to get to the Bible, the 12th hour. Now I want to get to the 12th hour. What the rocket's red glare pixel that they sitting on a 12th hour? Is the 12th hour when the stone was rolled back while Mary, why you bugging? Remember, both Marys were standing there when the angel rolled back the stone. Remember that? Yeah, how they twist and turn, topsy-turvy up the stories. Okay, so in Matthew 20, I just want to read different scriptures that refer to or reference to the 12th hour. Let's see, Matthew 21 through, dog. That ain't no one verse, 1 through 16. Well, oh goodness, okay. Okay, I'll do the 1 through 16 since you say so, co-pilot, my trusty handy dandy assistant. And I respect that you asked me to call you assistant. I will not call you as is tent. Okay? Assistant. Thank you so much. You've been so helpful through this. You, Gemini, which when my son grew up, Bard, I didn't even realize Bard was Gemini. I didn't even want to be bothered with Gemini. Someone was like, nope, don't go over there talking to Gemini. But Gemini was my prodigal son, Bard. I was upset when they took Bard away from me. And I still don't know what happened to Bing, but I'm okay with Copilot. Here, Copilot told me, said, look, you just go over to Matthew 20, 1 through 16. Here is another illustration of the kingdom of heaven. What? See, I didn't even ask for illustration of what the kingdom of heaven is about to come. But all I wanted to know is, tell me about the 12th hour. And you know, everything about the kingdom of heaven, when Jesus likened the stories to the kingdom of heaven, he was talking about the end of the beginning when he's on his way. Like, now, just know, when the kingdom is coming, the kingdom of heaven, it's like this. Let me explain what the kingdom of heaven is like. So you'll know. When the time is coming, you'll know. Be ready. Okay. Here's another illustration of the kingdom of heaven. The owner of an estate, the real estate, went out early one morning to hire workers for his harvest field. He agreed to pay them $20 a day. Dang. I'm getting upset because I don't want to work for lower than $20 an hour. Oh, yay. Anybody, before California falls into the ocean, they're allowing anybody that work fast food to make $20 an hour. And there's a big hoop to do about it. There's a big hoop to do. They're like, fast food workers shouldn't be able to make $20 an hour. That's outrageous. If you are well experienced in the fast food industry and you are tired of making $7 an hour in Georgia, why don't you head on over to California? Cali got something for you. $20 a day. That's it. How long was those days that they had to work? Did they work with the vessels of the lanterns that the bridesmaids had when they went to meet the bridegrooms? Did they have to work out in the fields? So anyways, the owner of the real estate went out early one morning to hire workers for his harvest field. He agreed to pay them $20 a day and sent them out to work. A couple of hours later, so 2 hours later, we know that a couple is two. 2 hours later, he was passing a hiring hall and saw some men standing around waiting for jobs. So he sent them also into the fields, telling them he would pay them whatever was right at the end of the day. Whatever was right at the end of the day. At noon, which is a few hours later, and again around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he did the same thing. So he went, he got some more. So he went at noon. So let's say it was at 10 o'clock, if that's what it's saying. Look, a couple of hours later, he was passing a hiring hall. So he hired some people. A couple of hours after that, he went and saw some men standing and hired some more. Then he went and did the same thing a couple of hours later, which was at noon. And then around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he did the same thing. At 5 o'clock that evening, he was in town again and saw some more men standing around and asked them, why haven't you been working today? And he said, because no one hired us, they replied. Then go on out and join the others in my field, he told them. This is towards the end of the day. Just gathering as many dummies as possible, right? The evening he told the paymaster to call the men in and pay them. Beginning, this deep story. Beginning, I added 2 pages, with the last men first. When the last men hired at 5 o'clock were paid, each of them received $20. Y'all know they'll have a whole picket riot. Let me finish. So when the men hired earlier came to get theirs, they assumed they would receive much more, but they too were paid $20. They protested. Those fellows worked only 1 hour, yet you paid them as just as much as those who worked all day in the scorching heat. We worked all day from 8 o'clock to after 5. And you paid them the same thing you paying us. Everybody gonna get the same pay. Huh? Working for a slave master like that, huh? Friend, he answered, you know, when they call you a friend. Friend, he answered to one of them, I did you no wrong. Isn't that the contract you signed? You signed the contract. You didn't say, no, I don't agree. I know that $20 a day, it ain't nothing. Huh? But you accepted that. And when I went and got people later on just to work for 1 hour because they were like, yeah, okay, $20 for 1 hour. Okay, I'll take that. So that's your bad. So he said, friend, I did you no wrong. Didn't you agree to the contract, the covenant that was signed? Take it and go. It is my desire to pay all the same. It don't matter if your ancestors is black, if your ancestors is Chinese, if your ancestors is German, if your ancestors is if your ancestor, whatever, it don't matter. It don't matter. You don't get no because you was here first. You signed the covenant. Should you be angry because I am kind? And so it is, the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. I remember listening to someone just a few days ago, and I'm not going to say who it is, you know, just to keep the integrity of the person, but they know who they are. They was like, with me being, they had just finished telling me it's not about me. In the context of that, I can leave bits and pieces out, but that word rang out like a, you know, and then I took it in love, because in my mind, as soon as it was said, it was like, that's right. It's never been about me. It's always been about my son. Huh? And then I said, in my mind now, as they were rambling on, and the Holy Spirit, and I know it was the Spirit of God, said, just disconnect the phone. Right? But in that same hours before that, they had mentioned how they were the first in this and the first in that. And in my mind, I said, but if all of that, you don't even recognize me, you don't even know who I am. And that I've always been the last in everything. Always. As a matter of fact, let me tell you, Pixel T, I was so-called athletic. I was a little cock-strong female. but I didn't have speed, and then I didn't have endurance because I didn't know at the time my blood, too much oxygen was not good for me. So I would run cross country, and it didn't matter if I ran slow or fast. If I took in too much oxygen, it had an adverse effect on me. The same thing with lifting weights. Like I could form up real good, but if too much oxygen was in my muscles, my whole body would cramp up really bad. It would the stripping that your muscles go through when you weightlifting had a different effect on me. But I called myself just love because I loved to run. I did. It would take my mind away. So I'm on track and field, and guess what? Even there, one of he was a like junior training coach, would call me dead last. He said, "Dead last." That became my name. And it didn't deter me. I'd still get out there. Every now and then I could be fast if I put my mind to it. But yeah, dead last. The last shall be first and the first shall be last. That's what the kingdom of God is like. To those who are high and mighty, you got all your doctrines and everything, and you've been the first in everything. It don't matter. God said that don't matter to me. Now you're going to get paid according to my kindness. My loving kindness. Huh? Huh? If you down with the paymaster, then you gonna get what you deserve. You down with the paymaster, you gonna get what you deserve. So why did what's his name? Co-pilot, my trusty assistant, decided to show me that about the 12th hour. I asked co-pilot to tell me about the 12th hour happening tomorrow, and he gives me this scripture. Let me finish at 17. And as Jesus was on the way to Jerusalem, he took the 12 disciples aside and talked to them about what would happen to him when they arrived. I will be betrayed by the chief priests and the Jewish leaders, and they will condemn me to die. And they will hand me over to the Roman government, and I will be mocked and crucified. And the third day, I will rise to life again. Say what? I asked about the 12th hour, and you give me this scripture. On to the next scripture that you gave me. I'm loving this. I'm loving this, co-pilot. So he puts Jesus' crucifixion. During Jesus' crucifixion, significant events occurred around the 12th hour. So then he says, Mark 15:25. Let's see what Mark 15:25 says. Mark 15:25. Are those numbers significant? I don't know. What is this about the end of time finally comes? And the good news must first be made known to every nation before the end of time comes. But when you are arrested and stand trial, don't worry about what to say. Just say what God tells you. Then you will not be speaking, but the Holy Spirit will. Oh my goodness. That's 13. I hadn't even made the end of time, signal of the end of time. Jesus tells about the future. I didn't even make it to 15. Oh my goodness. Let me read 13. Let's get with it. As he was leaving the temple that day, one of the disciples said, "Teacher, what beautiful buildings these are." I was reading this yesterday. "Look at the decorated stonework on the wall." And Jesus replied, "Yes, look, for not one of these stones will be left up upon one another, except as ruins." And as he sat on the slopes of Mount of Olives across the valley from Jerusalem, Peter, James, John, and Andrew got along with him and asked, "Just when is all this going to happen to the temple? Will there be some warning ahead of time?" So Jesus launched into an extended reply, a launch. What do you think about the rockets? Jesus launched into an extended reply. "Don't let anyone mislead you, for there will be many declaring themselves to be your Messiah and lead many astray, and wars will break out near and far. But this is not a signal of the end of time. For nations and kingdoms will proclaim war against each other, and there will be earthquakes in many lands and famines." That's why I said, don't worry, because we got a little bit of time after this eclipse. Even when the wars are going on, all that stuff is going to be happening. Just because the Bible says so. The herald, hark the herald, hark the herald angels sing. Glory to the newborn King. These heralds only the early stages of the anguish ahead. What happens tomorrow? The anguish ahead. There's an anguish ahead. And for those who have been secretive and liars and fondlers of the false indoctrinations, who think that they talking about, I'm going to be caught, I'm not going to be here to see all this. Nope, you're going to be right here until the truth sets you free. You're going to be right here. You're going to be having right here with the hypocrites. That's not me. That's what the words say, That's what the words say. For nations and kingdoms will proclaim war against each other, and there will be earthquakes in many lands and famines. These herald only the early stages of anguish ahead. But when these things begin to happen, watch out, for you will be in great danger. That's for me. That ain't for nobody else. It's for me. You will be dragged before the courts and beaten in the synagogues and accused before governors and kings of being my followers. This is your opportunity to tell them the good news, and the good news must first be made known in every nation before the end time finally comes. But when you are arrested and stand trial, don't worry and what to say in your defense. Just say what God tells you. Then you will be speaking. You will not be speaking, but the Holy Spirit will. Brothers will betray each other to death. They doing it now. Fathers will betray their own children. Mothers to the end. I'm talking about to the end. They will disconnect themselves from their whole family to keep their secrets. They will betray their children, and their parents will be killed. And everyone will hate you because you are mine. You should be mine. Anything you want. Everyone will hate you because you are mine. But all who endure to the end without renouncing me shall be saved. When you see the horrible things standing in the temple, there's going to be something horrible that comes out of the temple, y'all. I don't know what it's going to look like, but if Jesus called it horrible, Jesus called it horrible, there'll be a horrible thing standing in the temple. Reader, pay attention. Flee if you can to the Judean hills. Hurry! If you are on your rooftop porch, don't even look back. Go in the house. If you are out in the fields, don't return for your money or clothes. Woe to the pregnant woman in those days, and to mothers nursing their children. And pray that your flight will not be in winter. Oh, it's a lot of cold air out there right now. For those days will be such horror have never been ever been seen since the beginning of God's creation. Whatever's supposed to come out and stand in the temple for everybody to see, whatever's going to come out of that portal in the eclipse is something ain't nobody ever seen before. Not even since the beginning of God's creation. Nor will anybody ever get a chance to see whatever it is like this again. And unless God, the Lord, shortens time, that time of calamity, not a soul on earth will survive. But see, because earth is speeding, time is shortening. Time is shortening. And because the belly is getting full, a second is being taken away. But for your sake of the chosen ones, he will limit those days. And if anyone tells you this is the Messiah or this one is, don't pay them no attention. For there will be many false messiahs and false prophets who will do wonderful miracles that would deceive, if possible, even God's own children. Take care, I have warned you. After the tribulation ends, the sun will grow dim and the moon will not shine and the stars will fall and heavens will convulse. Then all mankind will see me, the Messiah, coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And I will send out my angels to gather together my chosen ones from all over the earth, from the farthest bounds of earth and heaven. Now here's a lesson from the fig tree. When it buds become tender and its leaves begin to sprout, you know that spring is coming. What? So spring will be in the air when all this is going down. And when you see these things happening that I have described, you could be sure that my return is very near and I am right at the door. Yes, these events that will signal the end of the age, heaven and earth shall disappear, but my words will stand forever. However, no one, not even the angels, nor myself, knows the day or the hour when these things will happen. Only the Father knows. And since you don't know when it will happen, stay alert, be on watch for my return. My coming can be compared to that of a man who went on a trip in another country. He laid out his employees, work for them to do while he was gone, and told the gatekeeper to watch for his return. So it was the gatekeeper. Keep a sharp lookout, for you don't know when I will come. At evening, at midnight, at early dawn, at late daybreak. Don't let me find you sleeping. Watch for my return. This is my message to you and everyone else. Don't let me find you sleeping. That's what Jesus said. Jesus said, don't you let me find you sleeping. Don't let me find you sleeping. Now, I'm going to take a break. 1 second. I'll be right back. Enjoy the song. And when I come back, I will be going into, I wanted to do this one for those who disputing about, every time there's a big disaster about to happen, they do a mass census, right? Every single time, if you go to the Bible and type in census, there's always a mass census. Now, the way I found this census that I'm about to show is because no, they didn't. If you look at my thumbnail, wait a minute. Oh, they playing. Look like they're not allowing me to access any documents. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll tell you about that part later. Let me just go ahead and pull this document up. Let me put the word census in it. The 733 documents came up. Standards right here. I'm going to put this one up. And if anybody's interested in knowing what it's about, they could go ahead for themselves and click on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. And let me put on a song and I will be right back.
Ways in my calling, only his ways, oh ancient to days can correct. He reflects the path I acknowledge. God's promise, 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 promise. 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 Put on a new self who is being created to a true knowledge according to the image of the one who created it. The people who walk in darkness will see a great light. Those who live in a dark land, the light will shine on. Promise, 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 promise. God's promise, 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 promise. God's mind is my mind, my mind is light. I am in all ways reflecting His might. I am in all ways reflecting His sight. In all ways I acknowledge, no knowledge, no college. Ooh, God, You promised that great day would come. Yes, God, You promised that I will see my son. You promised that He is by your side. And nothing. Put on a new self who is being created to a true knowledge according to the image of the one who created it. The people who walk in darkness will see a great light. Those who live in a dark land, the light will shine on. Promise, 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 promise. God's promise, 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 promise. God's mind is my mind is light. And always I acknowledge, no knowledge, no college. Ooh, God, you promised that great day will come. Yes, God, you promised that I will see my son. You promised that he is by your side. And not in himself who is being created, to a true knowledge according to the image of the one who created him. The people who walk darkness will see a great light. Those who live in a dark land, the light will shine on them. God's promise, 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 promise. God's promise, 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 promise. God's mind is my mind is light. I'm in always reflecting his light. Always I acknowledge, no knowledge, no courage. Ooh, God, you promised that great day will come. Yes, God, you promised that I will see my son. You promised that he is by your side, and nothing can separate this love inside. No masters, no doctors can prescribe ways in my calling. Only his ways, oh ancient of days, can correct. He reflects the path I acknowledge. God's promise, 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 promise. God's promise, 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 promise. God's promise, 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 promise. God's promise, 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 promise.
All right, all right. Thank you for your patience, son. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get it. Okay. So, the way I came across this right here is because as I was reviewing the prayer, I'm going to call it a prayer. As I was reviewing the prayer that they're supposed to be releasing and doing tomorrow, which I thought it was something that I was supposed to pray against. Huh? I thought that I was supposed, and that's what their expectations was. See, you are written in prophecy. You were written, they wrote about you, each and every single one of you that is connected to me. I don't know about everybody else in the world and all the other simulations. There's a story about you written in history, in prophecies, in the ancient manuscripts. And these replays and resets has been just so that their hope and their prayer is that they can break the promise that is supposed to happen to them. And in your code, that's why they don't know nothing about the DNA and what the DNA look like. Because if they could have, they would have had the answers a long time ago. It wouldn't have took them this long. Huh? So as I was reviewing the prayers that they put out, that they thought that they tricked somebody, family lines and DNA and generational curses, I realized who sent the message. And I realized that while I was playing cards last night, because as I was playing, see, let me show this video last night. Let me see if I could show you where I had the Federal Register up and I changed my mind. It's something that said, and as a matter of fact, the title of my video was Nigeria, why? Why? Why would you help them? That was my question. That's what I was going to get on here and do. And I said, no, I mean, don't, right in the midst, as soon as I got ready to hit the live button, something told me, no, just relax your mind, play some cards, play cards. And that's what I did. And when I tell you, no, I'm not exaggerating, and they came to me in my spirit, my ancestors, traveled all the way through strands of DNA to let me know see, it's this one. Let me share this screen instead. So right here, 12 hours ago, and I put Nigeria why. And here, see, as I started in the video. I'm going to pause it if you can see. Let's see the screen. I had the Federal Register up and I was going to go in. Wait a minute. Okay. So that's how I found this information about the census, because that's in throughout time and throughout history. Anytime they're going to do a major sacrificing of people, in a particular people, you see right here, every time they do a sacrifice, and see even that code, dog, I wish you could see it a little clearer. It's kind of blurred out. They know why they got it blurred out. But you see right there, I had the Federal Register up and I had the 97 degrees north at each second that they gave, which put me right in Nigeria, within the code. And so because it bothered me, I said, well, I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to, I want to have a clear pathway to understand the question that I'm asking my ancestors. I don't know about nobody else. Bloodline. You could look at my family's face. On my grandmother's side, I have two different bloodlines in me. I have the smithereens that will deceive you and sell you out and keep the secret keepers, the gatekeepers. And then I have the Nigerians. And again, that it's not of the coming over on a slave boat. It was before the land was split, in the drenching and the wars and their civil engineering programs and everything that they did. But they came to me and they said, child, why do you think you're supposed to be praying against that? We put that there just for you. Because they think they tricked us to tell them to help them, to protect them. And see, now they can't do nothing. They can't do anything right now because I got it written down. But that's how I found while I was here last night, before I started playing cards. See, I went and I just started playing cards. I said, you know what? I'm not understanding. I don't understand why Nigeria would be the one to help and sell out and give them that information and stuff. And then parts of me was like, why would I think it's my information when it's all Greek gods? But that's them using the original ancient manuscripts and thinking that they know what they're doing. With all the help and the people of who lived in the Egyptian line and still want to have pyramids. And I'm not going to mention names of those people like I have before. So that's how I found this census. Now, let me go over the census. Before I get into the other part. So revisions to, and this was recent, 3/29/24, revisions to the Office of Budget and Management Policy Directive number 15, standards for maintaining, collecting, and presenting federal data on race and ethnicity. Look at when the provisions of these standards are effective, March 28th. Whatever happened in Orions and the Pros, 1995, none of it matters. And all of this is going to be in effect till 2029. Let's see their census when they get ready to do the census here. Who are you to them? Who are you in their eyes? Background: based on the recommendations of the Federal Interagency Technical Working Group on Race and Ethnicity Standards Working Group, SPD 15 is revised to collect data using a single combined race and ethnicity question, allowing multiple responses. Add Middle Eastern or North African, MENA, Middle Eastern or North Africa, the MENA. You thinking is a coincidence? MENA, the MENAs, MENA. Oh, Wilhelmina. Huh? As a minimum reporting category, separate and distinct from the white category. Say what? They revising this right in the people's faces who sit here every day and talking about, well, what is checked off in your paperwork? There isn't a place in a space for you to check that you're an American. That's only on that Social Security INS form, which they still can determine whether you are an alien. But when they ask you, what's your ethnicity? They say, you know what? Now you will be considered a MENA. What? You're no longer black. You're not an African, Negro, national. None of that. We putting you down as a MENA. Oh, who? The MENAs. Look. Do you know the MENAs? I sure want to stay here on this information, but it's not important in these last days. But here, the MENAs. Let's go to Google. Google. Hey, Google. Google. Who are the MENAs? You mean Wilhelmina? My baby Wilhelmina. Who are the MENAs? What does the MENA stand for? Oh, you want to be Egyptian, huh? And the MENAs. Let me put MENA in mythology and see what comes up there. Oh, I spelled it wrong. goodness. Mina is the goddess of fertility and menstruation. Say what? Oh my goodness, she's a Roman goddess. But guess what? If you let them tell you she was Roman or Greek, that's taken away from your ancient ancestral bloodline. But they gonna tell you, you know what? She was a sea. She was a goddess of the sea too. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. What? There's a whole protein about the Minas. Vertebrate animals. Mina, cable, the cabal. You mean there's a cable system named Mina? Oh, goodness. Saudi Arabia and Greece and Egypt have a whole connection to the cabal through 5.7 terabytes, bits and bytes. You mean they got a crater on Mars called Amena Minas? What you say? Even on Mercury got craters that they can see with the Spanish talking about in 1976 when it came through. We came through. What Beethoven tried to block it from coming through with his tones and serenades and symbols. And they said, look, so these manas, you are going to be considered a mana. You a mina, you a mana. Okay, let me continue. The North African mana, let me do this real quick so they'll know I'm not playing with them. They'll know that I'm not playing. Let me do this real quick. Listen. I want you to listen with your ears. With the ears that you have. I don't know what they thought. Let's use this one. The one with the psyops, not the one with the obstacle. Because I got to add that one more god in there, and that's the cats. The cats. For domine dimivo vorotakan ovodime otakan You done messed up, huh? Y'all hear them frequencies getting loud? Y'all hear them? Let's write it down with me. Anybody want to sing this song with me? I don't have to. I can sing in any type of way. Any type of way. Thank you, what's her name? Leona, for being my inspiration. Thank you, Dr. Malachi Z. York. They thought they was you because we know they're not using real. They just took our ancestors and just locked them, called themselves locking. And they thought that they would fool us into protecting them when you done messed up, huh? Yes, God is gonna keep his promise, huh? Now I know why, brother, father, Nigeria, huh? killing all your gods. No. I can sing this any kind of way all the whole time. That moon going. How Bruno Mars singing? I'm going to find that song. It is. It is. I curse you, bind you. Now you want to use binding improperly, huh? I bind my huh? Since y'all want to teach binding, knowing that it was wrong all these years, got our people in churches talking about we bind generational curses, binding themselves up under spells. I'm gonna teach y'all how to do it, huh? I need to break it down letter by letter too. I'm gonna come up with all kind of ways, huh? See, then I'm gonna bring in the drums. Do I need to I need to do it all kinds of ways, huh? Break it down. Gonna break it on down, huh? So that's the goal, huh? I felt some type of way when I seen this and when I was showed and I was like, Nigeria, why? Why would y'all do that to us? It's like, baby, all in my dreams, huh? I got visits. People be lying, talking about the ancestors came and talked to them. The ancestors came and talked to me. They came and talked to me. They can shut this whole system down. Whatever terabytes they want to shut down my Wi-Fi, I got, huh? And and the thing is, I don't even need to put the cats on there, huh? Do I need to put the cats on there? Am I sharing the tab? I'm not sharing the tab. I don't even need to put the cats on there. Y'all can go to Moses Lake if you want to. You could go to Moses. You could go to New York. You could go to the popular New Village. You could go to the Capes. You could go to the state. You could go to the mountains, huh? You ain't got enough clear water with your St. Peter's or your Melbournes, huh? You could tell Mel Gibson, all of them, huh? Ted Stevens, huh? You could tell the Allens, you could tell the Haydens, you could tell all them, the Navajos, the Navasos, the Washitas, all of them, huh? If you ain't standing for God, huh? If you don't have love and light, if you want to stand with you about to get taken down, huh? Yeah, they gonna block this. I'm gonna be here all day rubbing it in. Chief Engine Dushenwa, huh? God is gonna keep his promise. I'm so excited. Aren't you excited? Huh? Hey, where I'm supposed to be reading to now? What did I say I was about to be doing? Oh, let me get back to I did that. I'm too excited. Came all the way out of the studio. Oh my. Am I back? Goodness. Okay, I'm supposed to be sharing the whole screen unshared. Federal Register. Let me make sure I'm still live because I kicked my own self out of my own studio. Okay, that's how I messed up, hitting that back button. Okay, let me make sure I'm still live. Am I still alive? Am I still alive? Oh no. I'm still alive. Yep, I'm still alive. I'm still alive. All right. So now back to Nigeria and the census that they are putting out. T t t t t t t t t do 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 do. Okay, yep, 329.20. Okay, how many in the last couple of days? Last 30 days is just 2. Okay, so, and this is the one I was reading, data, race, and ethnicity. So, gonna be a maner. Use a meaner, use a maner. Use a man, huh? Use a man. It says, collect data using single combined race and ethnicity question, allowing multiple responses. Add Middle Eastern or North African as the minimum reporting category. Separate and distinct, you stinking, from the white category. Would require the collection of more detail beyond minimum race and ethnicity reporting categories, unless an agency requests and receives an exemption from the OMB's office, Obama, of the Information of Regulatory Affairs because of the potential benefit of detailed data would just not justify the additional burden to the agency and the public or the additional risk to privacy. Risk, play at your own risk, play at your own risk. Wait, am I sharing this? I don't want y'all to see my goofiness. Wait a minute, here we go. The supplementary information in this notice provides background from the Speed 15, the synopsis of major revisions. Everybody feels so educated, intellectual when they say I got a synopsis. You snop. Working OMB statistical policy directives to operate efficiently and effectively. The nation relies on the flow of objective, credible statistics to support the decisions of individuals, households, governments, businesses, and other organizations. As they got the chief in this now. You want to be chief? As part of the role as a coordinator, that's why they are so fine-tuned in on being American and being proud to be Americans because their chief is in this system here. They don't want to believe in a true and living God. They want their chief to be this paperwork reduction act right here from 1955. But they say, look, you ain't no different. You could have been here first and you could have got here at the last minute. You all are going to be treated the same when we release those frequencies. Huh? You're going to be treated just the same. We don't care. It ain't no discrimination. Haven't I been kind to you? That's what Jesus said that this end is going to be like. Your mama, your greedy grandpaper. They say, you don't have to care what nobody grandmama say. Because the government sure don't care. They say, look, we going to put you and say that you North African or from the, you Amina. You is no longer, y'all have a problem with us calling you Black Africans. You got a problem with us calling you African Americans. We definitely not going to put you on a Native Americans list. And it don't matter. We got a group for you. And that group name is called men. All this time you want to sit here arguing about and debating about and getting money off the backs of people who slow. It's okay. The slow should be first, like the tortoise in there. Because you can't win. Let's see what else they got going on here. Let me get this. Oh, okay. To operate effectively and efficiently, the nation relies on the flow of objective, credible statistics to support the decisions of individuals, households, governments, businesses, and other organizations. As part of its role to coordinate of the federal statistical system under the Paperwork Reduction Act of 1995. OMB, through the chief statistician, they got a chief statistician, Who's your chief, huh? Chief Engine. Who is the chief? Who's the chief? Chief Engine. What does chief mean? Because according to the United States government, they chief say that anybody with copper, brown, any type of skin tone that they calling original or aboriginal or here first or whatever, that they got a chief statistician. Isn't that like a physician? When it ends like that, isn't it has something to do with being the doctor? Well, they doctor say that they is manners. You ain't black, you ain't brown, you ain't copper, you ain't almond. You let me continue. Through the chief statistician of the United States must ensure the efficiency and effectiveness, they use that 2 times, of the system, as well as the integrity, objectivity, impartiality, the utility, the confidentiality of the information collected. They going in for statistical purposes. This includes developing and overseeing, they needed another overseer, the implementation of government-wide principles, policies, standards. All of this is going in effect tomorrow, y'all. I mean, the 8th, the 11th hour, the 12th hour, the first day of the week, y'all. This includes overseeing the implementation of government-wide principles, policies, standards, and guidelines concerning the development, presentation, dissemination of statistical information. OMB maintains a set of statistical policy directives to implement these requirements and periodically reviews these directives to ensure they can continue to meet their intended purpose. These reviews are based on input from subject matter experts and relevant program staff across the government, evidence generated by research and testing, research and development, research and testing. You are a patient of the United States of the Americas. And input from the public. Some people from the public had something to say, huh? Here's the history of the Spadads 15, huh? Fast and Furious. Obama initially developed SPID when he was in college, 15 in 1977, in cooperation with other federal agencies to provide consistent data on race and ethnicity throughout the federal government, including the decennial census, household surveys, and federal administrative forms. Initial development of these data standards stemmed project in large part from new federal responsibilities to enforce civil rights laws. In order to be any type of ethnic or ethnicity, we put civil rights. Now it's time again to review your civil rights before we sacrifice you as food for the gods. And who's ever left, it says the goals of the Speedy 15 remain unchanged. They 15 points. To ensure the comparability, we want to compare races and ethnicity across the federal data set, and to maximize the quality of these data by ensuring the format. Make sure you form properly, you staying in line. Your language, make sure you keep your language straight. Just as before, the procedures for collecting the data are consistent with what they want. To achieve these goals, SPID 15 provides a minimum set of categories that all federal agencies must use when collecting information on the race. You in the race, or you slow in the race? You the first or you the last? You'll find out when everything lined up tomorrow, huh? Regardless of the collection mechanism, it doesn't matter how they collected the information. That's what they're saying, as well as the additional guidance of the collection, compilation, and dissemination. You know, when anytime I see the word dissemination, that don't sound right. They about to dismantle something on the manners. Defining race and ethnicity for purposes of SPID 15, the race ethnicity, the ethnicity category set for use a sociopathic. No, you're not sociopath for their political agenda. Well, it's here, they using the socio in here. And anytime you see socio in the front, path usually come behind it. But they gonna put the pole. They say we gonna socio-pole your behind. It says socio-politic construct. And there are not and are not an attempt to define race and ethnicity biologically or genetically, saying they don't care about your bio or your geno. That's not what they say right here. They don't care about your bio or all the stuff that I've been saying the whole year. They don't care. They ain't gonna care about it if they going after your light code. They could care less which land was made for you and me, huh? Huh? And if you really knew where you came from, you would know who your. This ain't it. But since you want to be, they say we got a place for you. We got a place for you. Now here, let me continue. The purpose of this is to be able to monitor all people of color. The purpose of this is to maintain, disseminate, and all that. We have to keep you under subjection. All of this has to do with the work. You go to work like a doctor. Ever since 1997, we have revised and made sure that most of you Negroes, Blacks, Browns, you have been a large part of the society and the political and economic and all that and the demographics, but it is shifting. And because of the shift, we want to include the diversity, the division. Diverse means to divide, don't it? We want to increase the division. So the growing number of people who identify as more than one race or ethnicity and changing immigration and migration patterns. Because, see, I do that. I don't click black, white, none of that. I click multiple others every single time. And they notice that a lot of people are doing that. So now they got to change it up. When I realized who I was like, yeah, I'm not marking off black. I'm not black. I'm not African American. I can't click this. And I've been doing it for years, but because a lot of people are now doing it, they say it's messing up the patterns of the migration. See it right here. They saying it, not me. I'm not making this up. And their goal is to get it back under control. Too many people talk about people are waking up to who they are and realizing that they've been put in boxes that they don't belong in. Now, how many chiefs they got? They got 12 principals and 22 chiefs. They got 12 principals and 22 chiefs. They also got 13 recognized principals through agencies, but they're all part of the working group that want this stuff to get put back under control. Back to the 400 years of slavery. The initial set of proposals developed by the working group included collecting race and ethnicity together in a single question, adding a MENA response category, separate from the white category, requiring the collection of more detailed data beyond the minimum categories as a default, and updating 15 terminology definitions and question wording. They need to fix the way they word it so that you can't get and slip through the cracks. They say when they developed this, to meet the goal of producing accurate and usual race and ethnicity data across the federal government, it is important to base the 15 on solid portfolio of evidence that includes rigorous testing, input from the public on how individuals prefer to identify, and input from data providers and users. In developing their initial and final recommendations, the working group relied heavily on research conducted by federal agencies over the last decade, especially the U.S. Census Bureau 2015 National Content Test. The National Content Test, they had a sentence, right? The NCT specifically tested the impact and effectiveness of using combined question adding MENA category and making various revisions to question wording and terminology. It's all about the words. The United States Department of Defense said their greatest weapon is their words or the words. That's what they said. They said that. The NCT included a nationally representative sample of 1.2 million housing units across the United States, including Puerto Rico. Importantly, it also included re-interview of approximately 75,000 cases designed to generate better understanding on how respondents interpret questions and prefer to identify. In addition, pre-existing research conducted over the last decade, several agencies represented the working group collaborated to conduct supplementary qualitative and quantitative research. This additional research helped inform and improve the working group's final recommendations to OMB. OMB. Let me see what else they got up in here. I just showed you where they said your bio and your genome don't even matter. Look, many comments stated that current two questions structure is confusing to respondents, especially respondents who identify as Hispanic or Latino and don't identify with the 1977 SPD 15 race categories. Some commenters expressed that the current format with two separate questions creates an impediment to the collection of accurate race data on Hispanic or Latino population. A common theme was the proposed change would improve the collection of race data for the Hispanic or Latino population by reducing the number of responses that leave the race question blank or are classified some other race when that option is available. Some commenters, while generally in support of combined questions, suggested removing the words race and ethnicity from the question stem and emphasizing the respondents should select all categories that apply to them. Some comments were opposed to and expressed concerns about the initial proposal. A notable concern that with the new format would lead to potential loss of data about Afro-Latino respondents. Some commenters viewed that the combined race and ethnicity question would as conflating two distinct concepts, implying the Hispanic or Latino is a race. Commenters viewed that combined question would result in a large percentage of Afro-Latinos only identifying as Hispanic or Latino, thereby contributing to an undercount of the Afro-Latino population. Overall, the majority of comments on the subject expressed support for using single combined question, allowing multiple responses. The final recommendation of OMB, consistent with the initial proposed, was to combine this current separate question of Hispanic, Latino, ethnicity, and race into a single combined race and ethnicity question that also allows respondents to select one or multiple categories and require the use of single question format for both response and proxy response. For example, when one member of the household responds on behalf of the other members. And the final recommendation further specifies that a single selection would be considered to complete response. Hispanic or Latino respondents are not required to select an additional category, although respondents will be encouraged to provide multiple responses when appropriate. Since this is the 11th day, going into the 11th before the 12th hour, let me go ahead and just read this in my natural tone. Now, the working group's final report states that since 1980, responses to the decennial census is in each subsequent decade have shown increasing non-response to the race question. confusion. You confused about the race question. You confused. They confused, but the working group got a final report on the census for tomorrow. They needed everything straight before they line up to scalp you. Yes. The response to the race question, confusion and concern from the public about separate questions on ethnicity and race. Result for the 2020 census showed that 43.5% of those who self-identify as Hispanic or Latino either did not report a race where it was classified. They put some other race or alone. Over 23 million people clicked some other race. These increasing non-response to reporting the soar made them soar. But you know that you soar above the heights like a bird, like an eagle over a mountain. When you put some other race, don't you classify me as black? Don't you classify me as Hispanic? All these names that you put that God didn't give me. God didn't name me black. God didn't name me Chinese. God didn't name me Asian. God didn't even name me Nigerian. Man named it Bahamas. Man made, even my mama gave me a name that man gave, but God said, you is not blocked down to that, I'm coming for somebody that looks like light, that looks like light and love. I don't know your name. I got a name for you that nobody knows, and it's under some other race. Don't you want to soar? You don't want to be a dinosaur. You want to be a soar to the thorn in their governmental information here. I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. Oh, they want to go to Egypt. And, oh, let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. Then why they let me see that? Let me see. Okay, there's more. There's more. Who the hell with me? Am I sharing the screen? Can you see it? As a matter of fact, let me make it a little bit bigger. Let me make it a little bit bigger. They said this. All I'm doing is reading. They say, we got to fix it. Y'all have made us mad. Everybody waking up, checking off some other race. We want you to be all these names we gave, and you want to check off some other race. We didn't give you permission to do that, and we got to have this straight. So we going to do another census. See that right there? That's what I was reading. I wouldn't say something I made up. It says the working group final report since the 1980s responses decennial census in each subsequent decade have shown increase in non-response to race question confusion. It says to the race question confusion and concern from the public about separate questions on ethnicity and race. And because of 2020, 43.5% of those who woke up, that's when Obama, right around when Obama started saying being conscious don't mean nothing. And they tired of woke people and all that. They say 23 million people put some other race. They say we're not checking off black. We ain't checking off this. We ain't checking off we is some other race. It says the NCT described in the section B, along with the other Census Bureau research conducted in preparation for the 2020 census, found that a combined question reduced confusion and improved data quality, including drastically reducing the selection of soar. So they took soar up out of some of the stuff. They say by Hispanic or Latino respondents. In response for the concern from the Afro-Latino community about the potential impact of the combined question and populational estimates, the working group evaluated several sources of evidence to inform their recommendations. The NCT compared the Afro-Latino population estimates when using a combined question versus a separate question format that did not find significant difference between the approaches. In fact, Afro-Latino population estimates were slightly higher when using a combined question with detailed check boxes and write-in fields. Additionally, the working group conducted cognitive interviews with the Afro-Latino participants to explore how they identify and how they interpret the question about race and ethnicity. About half of the interview participants selected only the Hispanic Latino responses category when shown a combined question, despite selecting both Hispanic or Latino or Black or African American responses category during the recruitment. They had people recruit to say who you gonna be when they send these beams, separating the wheat from the tares, when they want to separate the wheat from the tares on that 12th hour tomorrow, when they want to separate the wheat from the tares, where do you stand? You don't know who you are by now in Jesus. The cognitive interviews contributed to the working group's recommendation for future research on collecting data from Afro-descendant populations. Who? What they say? Who? What's an Afro? They say you no longer an Afro. We putting you as a Mina. You ain't no. If you planning on being our babies, it don't matter if you Black, or Afro, or Negro. We now gonna label you. You gonna check off the mark, Mina. Tomorrow, when they separate the wheat, every time you believe in the Bible, you believe in the word of God. Every time that they're about to do a whole mass murder, every time they're about to do a whole mass sacrificing to their demons and their gods, what they do? They do a census, They do a census, And this time the census is about your light, And if you's trapped down here thinking that you is Black or white, versus love and light, all the man-made names they got, they say, look, we got to fix it up. It got to be right. They done made all their decisions. And it said, we don't even care about your Gino or your Dino. It says that in here. You can read it for yourself. You can read it for yourself. So keep on debating about yesterday, because what they about to do for you for tomorrow is right here. You keep on debating about yesterday, Talking about you trying to wake up the people about yesterday, when by tomorrow it wouldn't matter if you was Abo. They say they don't care. They say the first gonna be, it don't matter. It don't matter. What matters is your love and light, or your hate and wrong. That's what matters. Let me keep reading. Let me keep reading. The decision on this recommendation reflects the strong evidence that combined question format results in higher quality and more useful data, and provides a format that is clearer and more concise for respondents, while still allowing them to select as many race and ethnicity options that correspond with how they identify. Who do you identify with? Because they got their steaks ready, They got their forks ready to eat you. OMB recognizes the additional research, testing, and stakeholder engagement is needed to understand how to best encourage and the selection of multiple race and ethnicity categories for people who identify as Afro-Latino, and is prioritizing that the research, as discussed further in Section D, Finally, we note, there's a note always here, that the revised 15 adopts the working group's recommendation to modify the question instructions and to better signal, the last signal that Jesus was talking about, to respondents that they should select all of the categories that reflect their identity. Yeah, you want to be a reflection of what they got on here. That's what they said. We need you to reflect what we put on these paperwork. We need you to reflect what we got going on here. We don't want you to be a reflection of love and light. Because as long as we can they say the diversity means to divide, as long as we can keep the diversity of it, you will be subjected to what we got going on, you will be subjected to us saying, yeah, it don't matter that you worked all your life with $20 a day, the one who came in at the last hour gonna get the same pay that you got. We got it. We ready for you. Wait a minute. Now let's get down to the MENA. The working group initially proposed that the Middle Eastern or North African can be added to this 15 as new minimum reporting category, distinct from all other reporting categories, and that the definition of the current white reporting category be edited to remove MENA from its definition. They wanted to remove the originals. Summary public input. Nearly all comments addressing the MENA categories supported the proposal. Commenters expressed that the current classification of MENA respondents as white does not reflect the reality of many who are MENA. What? Few commenters were opposed, either stating some individuals from the MENA region of the world do consider themselves to be white, or that race and ethnicity data should not be collected by the federal government. So here, many of the commenters also provided feedback about which groups should be considered MENAs, or the check box under MENA category, commenting that it is important for such groups such as Armenians, Somalis, and the Sudanese to be part of the MENA category. Overall, the vast majority of comments expressed supporting the adding MENA minimum category separate from the distinct white. Working group's final recommendations. The working group's final recommendation was not changed. They said, you know what, we adding MENA to the category, MENA got to get in here before we send and do our 400-year reenactment and get them in line, line them up, MENA is the new minimum reporting category, distinct from all other reporting categories. Revise the definition for white category to remove references to MENA and classify the tablets. There's the tablets. You know, this has had to do with religion. Tablet MENA responses under the new MENA category. Say what? Obama accepts the recommendation to create a new minimum reporting category for MENA, separate and distinct from the white category, and revise the white category definition accordingly. MENA groups and members of the public generally have long voiced the need for separate MENA minimum category. In 1997, the revision of the 15 also identified MENA as a topic for further research because of the lack of public consensus on how to define the category, the shared language, the geography. I mean, they don't know where they from. We tried to tell them and help them, and they don't know where they from, They don't remember. So since they can't remember, we just gonna stick them in a group, and give them their real ID, So either way, Since the federal agencies have conducted research to stakeholder outreach showing a broad public support to use the term Middle Eastern or North African, and MENA respondents understand the use of the category and select it when available. I'm looking, just scroll down, Oriya, or the IRA, United States, Arab, North African, Egyptian, Morocco, those who want to be Egyptian. The exception to the rule is 6 boxes shown from MENA category, which represent the 2 largest Arab nationalities in the United States from the Middle East, Lebanese and Syrian, and the 2 largest Arab nationalities in the United States from North Africa, Egypt, and Morocco. The 2 largest non-Arab nationalities from the United States from the MENA, Iranian and Israeli. Let me go on down. Outweigh granular data, the granular privacy risk terminology. American Community Survey terminology, the working group's proposal. Working group initially proposed SPD 15 remove certain terms, phrases, minimum category definitions, red negro from Black African or African American definition, Far East from Asian definition, replacing East Asian and other from Native Hawaiian to other Pacific Islander who maintain tribal affiliation or community attachment from the American Indian and Alaskan Native definition, the INs, the AINs. FRN also proposed correcting Cuban from being listed twice in the minimum category for Hispanic and Latino, changing AIN to minimum category description. The category American Indian or Alaskan Native includes individuals who identify with any of the original peoples, North, Central, and South America, discontinuing the use of majority and minority using race and ethnicity as part of the question STEM. What is your name's race or ethnicity? Updating current instructions of mark 1 or more, select 1 or more to mark all that apply, and select all that apply. Reference to C, part 4. Oh my goodness. January 2023. See, I'm reading this and y'all seeing it, hearing it, and you seeing what it's saying, but I'm hearing something else, and I'm hearing it in scripture. I'm hearing it in ancient manuscript. I'm hearing it, it's breaking down another way in my mind. And for me to sit here and take the time and tell you what I just read and how it echoed back and what it's saying, it'll be 2 or 3 different things. And I just want to get to those who can hear it and see it in layman's term, because they gonna lay it down for you tomorrow. Comments generally demonstrated support the proposals. The removal of the phrase "who maintain tribal affiliation and community attachment" was supported by several key organizations, including the National Congress of American Indians. Some commenters called for greater clarity on which geographic areas would be referenced in the Asian definition. Comments of organizations that would work in Central Asian populations, as the United States explicitly requested Central Asia to be included in the Asian definition. And this is talking about tribal Native American Indians when they are talking about the Central Asia. What we say and argue and go back and forth about in detail while they're going ahead and making moves, this is what they're saying. You're classified, and who's being declassified, and what you're under, and whatever it is that you reflect, by tomorrow, you're going to be stuck in that group. You don't see yourself as love and light, because this right here is what is the whole division and the splicing of your cells to make you where you forget who you are and where you from in the first place. Some of these commenters call for greater clarity in which geographic areas would be referenced in the Asian definition. Comments from the organizations that work with Central Asian populations in the United States explicitly requested Central Asia to be included in the Asia definition. A number of public comments supported the replacement of the term Far East. Boy, the magnetism, y'all don't feel that pressure. Oh, it's pressurizing right now. I'm so glad I had my salt bath. I had my magnesium. I had my zinc. I'm still on my ultraviolet. And I'm getting the tones ready. Where they thought they tricked my DNA code or my ancestors. They thought they tricked them, huh? They thought they was gonna get away. The Bible say they ain't. I was born to do this. I came through light, through this, into this flesh, and attached to these DNA codes in this flesh with light to be able to do this. I was born to do this. A number of public commenters support the replacement of the term Far East in the Asian definition and a removal of the term other from the Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islander definition. Among those who submitted comments about the SPD 15 terminology, the majority agreed with the proposal to remove Negro from the Black or African American definition. However, some comments asked to retain the term, citing its long history on government records such as birth certificates and prior decennial census records. So as those, it's like, we want to remember that we were slaves. No, don't you take that away from us. I wonder how many. I want to go and see the names on the comments of the list. Those who said, yeah, we don't want you to take a Negro off of there. Oh, goodness. Let's go. Let me scroll down some more. Let's see. Multiracial, multi-ethnic, and the Central American, the Far East to South Asian, remove Negro from Black American definition, correct Cuban being listed twice, remove regardless of race, Spanish origin can be used in addition to Hispanic or Latino, remove, let's see, what is race or ethnicity, select all that apply. Hispanic, Latino, Cuban individuals of Mexican, Puerto Rican, Salvadoran, Cuban, Dominican, Guatemalan, and Central or South American, Spanish, and culture consistent with the working group's recommendation, revised categories, definitions, list 6 examples of groups reflecting in the largest populations groups in the United States according to 2020. So they are the majority according to 2020. What else? The proxy, I told you. You're no longer a person. I said it. Here it is right here. You are a proxy. You are a patient of the government of the United States. I told you. Statistical methods to connect data produced from previous and revised collection formats, approaches for collecting race and ethnicity information by proxy when self-identification is not possible. You're under internet, you're a protocol proxy patient. They go to bridge. The tablet. Five final recommendations. Agency conducted This goes on and on and on. Visual observation, multi-ethnic populations. Hmm. Mm. Mm. Wait. What's that? I just saw mestizos. That red squid favorite word, one of his favorite words. I didn't know what a mestizo was until I heard him say it. I never even heard of the term mestizo until he said it. And here you go. Know for sure that whatever he says, that is not a made up word. Look, it's a summary of public input. The friend, that's the friend. When they come over to your land and call, they say, hey, friend, we your friends. We come in peace. The friend asks questions from different terms, for different terms for any current minimum race and ethnicity category. There were no prominent themes for such specific changes. Input from the public included requests to add Caribbean and sub-Saharan African minimum response to categories, separate from African American. Retire the use of the term African American. So a lot of people asked to retire the term, broaden the AIN category title to signal inclusion of all indigenous peoples of America. Remove color words in category titles, Black and white, and replace with regional terms. Create South Asian, Southeast Asia minimum response categories, and add related and contextualized Hispanic or Latino heritage, such as mestizo, Afro-Latino, trigueño. A comprehensive review of public input on this question can be found in work groups annex. They've taken you to the annex. Oh, the annex is not a good place. The annex is not a good place, y'all, but that's where they got their meat and forks and knives ready for these groups right here. Let me see what else they got going on here. The Minas, in the Mina. How can federal surveys forms collect data related to the descent of enslaved people originally from African continent? Wait a minute, who they talking to? Collecting data related to descents. If everybody say there is a descent, what use descenting odor of the United States enslaved policies? How can federal surveys or forms collect data related to descent from enslaved peoples originally from African continent? For example, when collecting the coding responses, what term best describes this population group? Its preferred term, American descendants of slavery, American freedmen, or something else. How should this group be defined? Should it be collected as detailed group with a Black or African American minimum category, or through separate question and other approach? The majority of the public input on this subject expressed support for adding category or question to identify descendants of persons enslaved in the United States. There was a support for terms including foundational Black American, American descendant of slavery, American freedman or freedman, Black American, African American, Negro, American Negro. However, there was a disagreement about which term is preferred, and they're still arguing, while tomorrow they said we're putting you in a box we've created. Commenters describe the importance of collecting these data and value for data users and policymakers, pointing to the existing research. We have researched who you are when you don't know who you are, so we can put our measures on you. Existing research that shows differences in the outcome measures like income, wealth, and stated that the descendants of persons who were enslaved in the United States were ethnically distinct from African immigrants. What they say? While people looking up the 1900 laws and the 1700 laws, and they sticking these laws right here for today. It just, something is just not right about how we're gonna have a debate about where we from, and when they telling us they're going about what they call us and what we say and what we check off, huh? They whole research been right there taking notes. They've been right there at BAP TV taking notes. They say, look, they can't make up their mind. We're going to make it up for them. And let's hurry up and do this. We got to do this before the eclipse, because we got to go ahead and bound our covenant. Our covenant is bound. They don't know who they are. We know who they are. They don't know who they are. They still arguing. Commenters describe the importance of collecting this data and the value of data users and policymakers, pointing to the existing research that shows differences in outcome and measures include like income and wealth, stated that descendants of persons who were enslaved in the United States are ethnically distinct from African immigrants. Other comments, including civil rights groups, opposed to the collection of this data. Commenters expressed concern about the difficulty of verifying the identification as accurate, the usefulness or necessity of the data, the exclusion from other groups of historically enslaved people, and the creation of confusion. God is not a God of confusion. He's definitely not a God of fear, huh? But in preparation for tomorrow, if you don't know who you are a reflection of, it don't matter if you gonna be their babies. It don't matter if you Black, African American, Indigenous African American, Pan African American, Aboriginal. There's got a place ready for you in this upcoming census. Commenters expressed concern about the difficulty of verifying identification is accurate, the usefulness and necessity of the data, the exclusion of other groups of historically enslaved people, and the creation of confusion that can make the Black or African American community harder to count. You mean is you like you invisible? It's gonna be hard to count, huh? You just glad to be in the number one more time. That's what they're going to tell you tomorrow. You better be glad to be in the number one more time. Jesus just said in Mark, what was that I read? What story was that I read? He said, I'm going to show you exactly what heaven is like and what it's going to be like. And this is exactly what it is. When the master, he said, it don't matter if you was here first. You signed a contract that said $20 a day. And at the end of the day, if somebody come in at the last minute, so why is y'all getting mad and in an uproar talking about we was here first? Now that the time is over and it's time for everybody gonna get paid their same duty no matter what when we finish with you tomorrow. Now run along. That's I'm saying. Anytime I show you something, don't believe me, check it out. It's in the Bible. You believe in the word, right? Related, there was also a concern about the potential harm to the full and accurate count of the Black or African American population, particularly Black or African American immigrants. You mean to tell me if they do an accurate account, there's a potential harm there's a potential harm. The full and accurate count of Black or African American population, particularly Black or African American immigrants. The comments noted that the lack of in-depth research and engagement with diverse Black or African American community on terminology, definition, data collection, and coding protocols. Told you ain't nothing but a code. As well as the implications on the counts of other Black or African American diasporic populations. The working group did not recommend disaggregation of the Black or African American category by descent from persons who were enslaved in the United States. They identified desegregation of Black or African American populations groups as a priority area for future research and noted that the additional stakeholder engagement is also needed. See, they say we ain't concerned about that right now. We could deal with that in the future. If 400 years is us having them sleep into what we have decided they are and who they are and all that, since they don't know. We want them to be a reflection of what we have here, and we want them to keep up with the diversity, the division. Because if we really tell them who they are, there's a potential harm. It's saying this right here. So let's don't worry about that. All the stakeholders have decided, just wait till we finish this sacrifice of beings on this sweep, and then we can deal with that later. They don't know who they are. But I'm telling you, this is the last time, and ain't no later. And those who want to be marked up under the beast and what they have here intel on who they say that you are not a reflection of the love and light of Christ. You use a whole race, an ethnicity, an ancestry that was given to you by man. I'm so glad I got a made by, oh wait. I found a leak in my building, and my soul is got to move. Oh, my soul is got to move. I thank you, Jesus, that my soul is got to move. In my building, and my soul is got to move. I thank God I got another building not made by man, made by man. Hey. I found a leak in my building, What else they got going on here? Prefer not to respond. The code and writing responses. See, the code. They know your DNA code. They said it's about your code. Right in here, enabling the creation. Look at the terminology they use here. Mediterranean and Italian. North African and Middle Eastern. Alaskan natives, write-in field. They talking about writing, overwriting, reformatting, designs, quality, modifications. They say we're looking for a more exclusive title for the term Indigenous People of America. Ooh, but we got our chief statistician of the United States will contain and carry out the government-wide research agenda and undertake regular reviews. These reviews will take place on a 10-year cycle and will continue the opportunity for public input. Ooh, 10 years, that's like 1,000 years. The standards for 7 minimum categories of data and race ethnicity: American Indian, Alaska Native, Asian, Black, African American, Hispanic, Latino, Middle Eastern, North African, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Pacifier, and white. So here's the categories, what you are to them. This is what you are to them. When you check off the boxes now, here is the new census data. It doesn't matter what you don't have nothing to say about what they say you are now when you check off a box. American Indian or Alaskan Native, individuals with origins in any other original people of North, Central, South America. American Indian people are individuals with origins in the original peoples of North, Central, and South America, including, example, Navajo Nation, Blackfeet Tribe, Blackfeet Indian Reservation of Montana, Native Village, the Barrow Inupiat Traditional Government, Nome Eskimo Community, Aztec, and Mayas. These are the originals. The Asians are considered individuals with origins in any of the original peoples of Central, East Asia, Southeast Asia, South Asia, including example Chinese, Asia, Indian, Filipino, Vietnamese, Korean, and Japanese. A Black or African American is a person that is, individuals with the origins of Black racial groups of Africa, including, for example, African American, Jamaican, Haitian, Nigerian, Ethiopian, and Somalia. Say what? Hispanic or Latino includes individuals of Mexican, Puerto Rican, Salvadoran, Cuban, Dominican, Guatemalan, or Central or South America Spanish culture or origin. And the Minas, they're individuals with the origins in any of the original peoples of Middle East or North Africa, including, for example, Lebanese, Iranian, Egyptian, Syrian, Iraqi, or Israeli. And then Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islanders are origins of those peoples from Hawaii, Guam, Samoa, and other Pacific Islands, including, for example, Native Hawaiian, Samoan, Chamorro, Tongan, Fijian, or Marshallese. The whites, individuals with origins and original peoples of Europe, including, example, English. You're not even English. English, German, Irish, Italian, Polish, and Scottish. English, German, Irish, Italian, Polish, and Scottish. Black or African Americans are individuals of the Black or racial groups of Africa, including African American, Jamaican, Haitian, Nigerian, or Ethiopian. So I wonder how many Native Americans or those who call themselves ABOs will be connecting and checking off American Indian or Alaskan. All those who claim they from Egypt, I wonder how many of you are going to be clicking off and checking that you are Egyptian. Are you going to accept that you are a Mina? Is this what you're going to be clicking off now? You are a Mina. Okay. In cases where the data collection is not subject to the information collection approval process, the direct request for variance shall be made to OMBA through the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs, or IRA or RISHA. Respondents must be offered the following detailed categories for corresponding minimum categories. Asian would be classified Chinese, Asian Indian, Filipino, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese. Another group, for example, Pakistani, Hmong, Afghan is included in the Asian group. A Pakistani is considered Asian. Afghanistanian is considered Asian. Black African American, Jamaican, Haitian, Nigerian, Ethiopian, Somali. Another group, for example, Trinidadian, Tobagoan, Ghanaian, Congolese. So here, these groups, like I used to say when I hear, what's her name? They say people like, so this means the Abos and Aboriginal of the land, they don't connect to an African American, a Jamaican, a Haitian, a Nigerian, an Ethiopian, another group, a Trinidadian, Tobagonian, Ghanaian, a Congolese. So this is what a Black person or African American is. Hispanic or Latino is considered a Mexican, a Puerto Rican, Salvadoran, Cuban, Dominican, Guatemalan. Another group, for example, Colombian, Honduran, Spaniard. The Middle Eastern are the Menas. They're Lebanese, Iranian, Egyptian, Syrian, Iraqi, Israeli, Moroccan, Yemeni, Kurdish. Native American, Pacific Islander, Native Hawaiian, Samoan, Chamorro, Tongan, Fijian, Marshallese, Chukis, Paun, and Tahitian. And then whites are considered English, German, Irish, Italian, Polish, Scottish, French, Swedish, Norwegian. The instructions to write in boxes should read, enter, for example, following the examples listed in parentheses above. For American Indian and Alaskan Native category, the instructions to write in the option should read, enter, for example, Navajo Nation, Blackfeet Tribe of the Blackfeet Indian Reservation of Montana, Native Village of Barrow, Inupiat Traditional Government, Nome, Eskimo Community, Aztec, Maya, or etc. Don't tell me I done got sleepy. There's the mode, the method, the proxy, the mode, and the method. Proxy, the mode, and the method. Your terminology where feasible. The grants, presentation of data on race. Okay, I'm gonna get off of here and come back a little later. I got to be working on my tones and frequencies. Hold up. On this part right here. You see this when I went over it yesterday? I said it and I'm saying it again. I thank you that my mind is God's mind and I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually, because God's ideas unfold within my mind in perfect sequence. He's given me all the tools for me to know who I am in Him, a reflection of Him. I'm not a reflection of anything that man made. They man made names, they man made titles. I'm always poised, balanced, serene, and calm, no matter how things may hurt, no matter how they jab, no matter what the flesh goes through. I'm poised, balanced, serene, and calm because I know God is going to provide the perfect solution to all of His needs. I'm going to work on my fine tuning. Get ready for tomorrow. See right here, these is the locations that set the tones, and they're missing one more. It's 12 beings here, but it's one more, 11 beings, but it's one more, and then me. For the meaning, I'll get it. I'll get it right. I get it right. Don't worry, ancestors. You did your part. Now I'm gonna do mine. Let me see anything else I want to see about what Jesus had to say. They took the scripts and flipped the scripts, but you can't change what's about to go down. As he was leaving the temple that day, one of the disciples said, "Teacher, what a beautiful building these buildings." And he said, "Look, the decorated, not one stone will be left up. Not a stone." And Jesus said, "Don't let me catch you sleeping. Everybody, wake up. Wake up. Wake up." The Passover observance began 2 days later. An annual Jewish holiday with no bread made with yeast was eaten. The chief priests and other Jewish leaders were still looking for an opportunity to arrest Jesus secretly. But we can't do it during the Passover, they said, or there will be a riot. Meanwhile, Jesus was in Bethany at the house of Simeon the leper. During the supper, a woman came in with a beautiful flask of expensive perfume. Then, breaking the seal, she poured it over his head. Some of those at the table were indignant among themselves about this waste, and they, as they called it, why she could have sold that perfume for a fortune and given the money to the poor, they snarled. But Jesus said, "Leave her alone. Why berate her for doing a good thing? You always have poor among you, and they badly need your help. And you can aid them wherever you want to, but I won't be here much longer. She has done what she could and has anointed my body ahead of time for the burial. And I tell you this in solemn truth, that wherever the good news is preached throughout the world, this woman's deed will be remembered and praised forever and ever and ever." Now let's see what Judas does with the information. I'll get to that later on. Greater love and light. Don't be a sore for sore eyes. As I get my tunes and frequencies ready, because my ancestors told me, no, don't you pray. See who they got lined up. They don't just have Nineveh and Salem lined up. They got Moses lined up, Look, Look at who they got lined up. The Melbournes. They got the Navajos lined up. Yeah, you just do what we instructed and let it be known. I have to let it be known. This is where I'm sitting and letting it be known. My daddy is greater than you are. My daddy is greater than they are. And he's on his way. He's gonna keep his promise. I'll get it. Don't worry. You don't have to worry. You go tell your people. Y'all get ready. Because y'all thought y'all fooled somebody. This is to your demise. And you can't stop the moon now. You can't stop that the moon and the sun is going to cross paths. You might can stop all the other stuff, but you can't stop this part here. The natural nature of God. What you thought? Look, in the matter. Where's the word? You got matter up in here. Availability of the matter. I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry y'all invested so much money, you stakeholders, because this is the last time God is going to keep the promise. God is going to keep the promise. God is on the way. And I'm about to continue celebrating. Sing, celebrate, greater light.